Welcome to Vigilant News for December 29th, 2021. My name is Justin, founder of Stillness in the Storm, and I'm joined by my co-host, Ryan Delarme from Underground Newswire. Ryan, how's it going?
It's going well. A little tired, but it's a little later than usual. So
that's right. We got breaking news for you. Well, breaking a few hours ago anyway. Before we get into that, don't forget to go to the links in the description and support our work, stillnessinthestorm.com/donate. And also, we still have a bunch of links in there for our products and our sponsors. You can support us by going there and getting all sorts of really amazing stuff. With that, let's go ahead and get started. We got an awesome thing to report for you here.
So yeah, verdict was reached in the Ghislaine Maxwell trial, finally. Some thought it may never happen. The jurors have reached a verdict after 40 hours of deliberations. The 12-person panel determined Maxwell was guilty on 5 of 6 charges and is facing up to 65 years in prison. Some people think that that's not enough. I don't know. I think that'll do it. Maxwell was originally charged with 1 count of enticement of a minor to travel to engage in illegal sex acts, 1 count of transportation of a minor with intent to engage in illegal sex acts, 1 count of sex trafficking of a minor, which is the big one, and 3 counts of conspiracy, all related to the other counts.
Wow. It's a pretty open shut.
Yeah, and I think that one, the sex trafficking of a minor, carries a maximum sentence of 40 years, while the others are like 5 to 10.
Got it. Okay.
She was found guilty of all charges except for enticement of a minor to travel to engage in illegal sex acts, dropping the maximum sentence to 65 instead of 70 years. When Maxwell was arrested in July of 2020, she was also charged with 2 counts of perjury, accusing her of lying under oath in the 2016 depositions for a lawsuit related to Epstein. In April, Judge Allison J. Nathan granted the defense's request to sever the perjury counts, which will be tried separately. The jury deliberated for 5 full days, requesting troves of evidence and sordid witness testimony that was presented during the month-long case before finding Maxwell guilty. The sentencing date has not yet been set. The ruling establishes a precedent that could cause other victims and prosecutors who may have been timid or apathetic about coming forward to trust that juries can and do get it right more often than we'd expect. On top of that, there are a lot of folks on the sideline who believe it just wasn't Ghislaine Maxwell who deserved a day in court. Evidence points to the possibility that there was a large web of influential individuals who are guilty of taking advantage of these girls. On that note, the Gateway Pundit released a piece, and we did an article on it, claiming that, quote, a legal source connected with the case said that if Maxwell is found guilty of her charges, she plans to start naming names in order to try to secure a lesser sentence. Though the trial delivered perhaps more justice than most anticipated, many observers have expressed that they will be upset if this is where the case ends.
Of course, yep.
And that's all I got.
Well, yeah, I mean, first thing, it feels good, I suppose, that Ghislaine got a conviction on this thing. You know, as we've been talking about, I wasn't really expecting like Bill or anything like that to, you know, have his name dropped in the trial. I kind of expected them to find her guilty, not necessarily because the jury is rigged, but they need a fall guy. And I feel like Ghislaine is kind of one of the people that's the fall guy, since Epstein's no longer an option. So
I guess the question is then, will she remain the fall guy and do 65 years in what is probably going to be a pretty nice, you know, prison comparable to a resort?
Exactly.
I guess I don't know that for sure, but I mean, that's what I would suspect.
I was thinking the same thing, like, where are they going to put her? Are they going to shove her back in the New York jail? Probably not, because I think that's, you know, just for awaiting trial.
Yeah, I have no idea.
But, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if, I don't know, it could go a bunch of different ways. I'm thinking that because she got a guilty verdict, that she is going to be kind of like the poster child for, look, we got the sinister bad guy. Although they're probably still going to try to claim that she's just the victim here and that Epstein is the one that was the real evil guy. Or other things could happen. Maybe this is itself a shocking thing for Ghislaine. And now that she's realizing, like, oh man, I am actually going to have to do time, she's going to be a lot more open and sharing and dropping names. Who knows?
And what we got to see in this trial was just what was connected to the 4 accusers. Of what I've heard was upward of 100 different victims over the course of the Epstein-Maxwell saga. This, as we mentioned in the article, could establish a precedent that would cause other victims to feel more, I guess, optimistic about their chances in bringing their case forward, and prosecutors as well. So who knows? Maybe somebody that's connected to something bigger could come out. I keep hearing the name Rachel Chandler, who some people are familiar with. She name was dropped years ago and then just kind of disappeared. So there's still a lot of loose ends to this case, I would say. And the sentencing hasn't happened yet. According to Gateway Pundit, she could start naming names. So
Right.
there's always a possibility.
And that could affect the sentence, right? So
yeah.
So yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's interesting. I'm even curious if potentially this leads to her sister being implicated in something, because her sister, if memory serves, was involved in creating a searchable network, I think, for the FBI.
The back door.
Yeah, the back door. So, the FBI and various law enforcement agencies and intelligence agencies gather tons of information on people. Five Eyes, think about the Five Eyes Alliance, right? We basically ask other nations to spy on our people because we can't spy on our people ourselves. And that's true for all these other 5 nations. So there is a massive, at least I should be careful, allegedly, according to various sources and researchers, there's a massive blackmail network out there. And her sister seems to be involved in some capacity. Could this mean that Ghislaine might actually name her sister? Could this mean that other people in this blackmail network start to get named and come out of the woodwork? I'm not really sure. It's hard to tell what exactly is happening. However, if we zoom out and we look at all the other things that are happening across the geopolitical landscape, there's a lot of indications that the pressure on these Kabbalists is mounting, especially as they try to push through their New World Order reset that they're trying to pull off. So yeah, I'm really curious to see what happens over the next couple of weeks, and we'll definitely keep you all updated. All right, well, with that, thanks for the update, Ryan.
My pleasure.
We'll be back again for another stream here probably tomorrow. Always good news to report. Appreciate all your support. Thanks again for liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel, and we'll see you next time. Take care.